What is going on, guys? Today it's hot outside and I have a few things to do on the Z. One is I got to wet sand and clear coat the hatch. We're gonna see how close we can get it to looking perfect. The black laid down really good, like probably the best spray paint job I've ever done. That's even a thing. And then we're gonna put in the NRG passenger seat. If you missed it, we put in the driver's seat and the steering wheel. There it is. So we're gonna put in the passenger seat, and I'm expecting some parts. Whenever I'm expecting parts and I think they're gonna be here, they never show up on time. So we'll see if they show up. If they show up, then we'll do that too, and I'm not even gonna talk about it and tell you what it is until it shows up. So, I've never wet sanded anything in my life, but from everything I've been reading, this is going to help before I clear it. Now, it turned out pretty good. I don't know if you guys can really tell. I mean, well, you can tell the difference from here forward, but like, this turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it, to be honest. So, I'm gonna wet sand it and then clear it, and we'll see how it looks. I'm honestly not even upset with how it looks right now, but I think this is gonna help. So I'm gonna do this first before I move on to anything else on the car, just because this is gonna have to dry and stuff. This is 2000 grit, by the way. So while I let the first coat of clear dry, I'm going to pull out this passenger seat and start prepping the NRG seat with the new rails and stuff to go in. The seating position for the passenger seat, what I usually do is I just put it all the way back. That way, if a small guy gets in, he's really comfortable, and if a tall guy gets in, he's comfortable as well. The driver's seat, after driving it around for a day or so, I do believe it needs to go forward just a tiny bit. My left leg is fully extended when pushing in the clutch, and for daily driving or like just driving around town, I can only imagine how frustrating it would be driving on the track. And also I got a rolled ankle right now from riding, so it sucks. So I might move the driver's seat forward a little bit, and we'll get the passenger seat in here. Now the other thing I'm trying to figure out is harnesses, because once these seats come out, there's no more belts unless I put harnesses in. But I really don't want to put the harnesses in without a harness bar or a roll cage, because the other way, if you bolt it straight to the floor in the back seat, is super unsafe. So I don't really know what to do. I know a lot of you guys have probably done that. I've done it in the past, but I'm really not trying to set a bad example for you guys, and you know, you guys copy what I do and then get hurt. So I don't want that to happen. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Is it better to have no seatbelt or a harness that could break your back? I don't know. But let's get the passenger seat. So just like in yesterday's video, I'm going to take out the seat, reusing all of the seat bolts. It's just a 14 mil. I was on a ratchet here. So I told you guys in yesterday's video that I had 2 sets of seat mounts and I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use. I've actually decided to go with the Bell Raceworks seat mounts for a couple reasons. One, they're one piece. So you can bolt the seat, you can bolt this into the car with the stock bolts, and then you can use the Allen bolts that are provided with the NRG seat to bolt it to the brackets, where if I use the NRG ones, I would have to find hardware for underneath the seat brackets. There's the brackets right there. So underneath you'd have to have two, you'd have to have 4 bolts, or bolts and nuts, I think. So it just is just easier. I put these in the driver's side and it worked flawlessly. So Bell Raceworks, go to their website or their Instagram, they're on there, and they're affordable, super easy to install. So I took out the majority of the stuff in here. These cars are really heavy from factory, so I'm trying to get some weight out. Like, look at all this like unnecessary sheet metal. I'm not going to bother with that today because it'll be really time consuming and I'm trying to get some shit done. So I'll just leave that, and then when we do the cage, we'll cut all that out, take out what we need. But what I did want to show you guys was how these Bell Raceworks seat mounts work. So as you can see, they're bolted in the car, and now I'm going to fit the seat. Super simple, not difficult. It's a little hard to get in next to the tunnel to get the bolts on the left side of the passenger seat and the right side of the driver's seat, but it's like that in pretty much every car. So we're going to try to get this thing sitting pretty low, pretty far back, and leaving the carpet from the back seat forward, or where the back seat would be. All finished up with the seat install, driver and passenger installed. Made sure to sit in it to make sure there's plenty of leg and headroom. For the really tall guys, what I usually tend to do is I'll pull the bottom pads out so their butt sits lower. But I think right now for a guy that's like 5'10", this is perfect. Look how good the seats look from back here. Boom! Damn, they look good. If anybody wants to buy stock Z seats, I have some. I have that's a passenger. I have all this plastic. I don't even know how much to sell this stuff for, but whatever. Then I've also got a driver's seat that has a little tear in it. It's been zip tied. I'm not going to ship any of this also. So you have to come to Kentucky. Little tear, but pretty good shape. And then 4 wheels with tires. While I'm waiting for parts, this is the last thing that I have to install on the car right now. And it's the Bell Raceworks Diff Brace. And he walked me through the instructions on this, but I might have forgot. So it can't be that hard. So let's jack up the back of the car, put some jack stands under it, and see if we can't figure it out. Just after bringing the brace under here and taking a peek, it seems pretty self-explanatory. We're going to remove these 2 diff bolts. They're a 14 mil. And then there's a hole up here in the subframe. And that's where our bolt and sleeve are going to go through. Now, be very careful when you do this. If you do it wrong, if you don't have the sleeve on the bolt when you push it through, you're going to drop the sleeve inside the subframe and never be able to get it. So make sure that it goes on there. When it goes in, all you need to do this job is the hardware and brace provided. A 14 mil socket, a 17 mil socket, and a 19 millimeter wrench. And the 19 millimeter wrench is for the nut that goes on the back side of the bolt and sleeve. I'm going to throw this in. It's going to be very hard to set up the camera in here because I don't have a lot of space under the car, but like I said, you're replacing these 2 stock diff bolts with the longer bolts that are provided with your kit, and make sure to have the sleeve on the bolt when you push it through the subframe. Pretty simple. So I'm just going to knock this out real fast, not film it because there's nowhere to set up my camera, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. There she is. All installed, looks great. Hopefully it keeps the diff in the car. Thank you, Arthur at Bell Raceworks. I'm going to go over the to-do list for this car because there's a lot of stuff to do before grid life. I plan on hitting a few local events before that, maybe one of the East 10 events, and then have an event up at Killcare in Cincinnati with my boy Donati. So I've got a to-do list here. Interior, install handbrake, cage, harness install, diff brace, check, got that shit done. Exterior, finished painting the hatch, I did it. It looks alright. Suspension, coilovers, install front upper arms, install GK Tech angle kit, brake pads and rotors, front wheel spacers. That's pretty much it for all that. Then we get into the engine. And since we're gonna rip this engine out, we're gonna put an LS in, there's a lot to do here. We have assemble 6-liter oil pump, front and rear seals, oil pan, pickup, clutch, headers, engine and transmount, adapter plate, starter, engine harness, shifter, link ECU, intake manifold, $7.99 heads. Gotta find some of those. If anybody has any heads, I need heads bad. Please hit me up. I need heads. And then, spark plugs, accessory brackets, power steering pump, tensioner, belts, cam, valve springs, push rods, lifters, trunnion upgrade, throttle cable, throttle body, digital dash, radiator and fans. Oh, and drive shaft. So as you can tell, I have my work cut out for me, but I think it's going to work out. I really do. I'm confident that this thing is going to be running perfect for grid life.